Did you know that some UK cities have seen their populations explode by over 15% in just 3 years? That's not just rapid growth, it's urban pressure on the brink of chaos. In 2025, the UK is experiencing one of its fastest and most unpredictable waves of urban migration. Once quiet towns are turning into high-demand hotspots. Major cities are being pushed to their limits. Entire infrastructures are being outpaced by people moving in faster than anyone expected. And here's the alarming part: many of these places are totally unprepared. Housing can't keep up, rental prices are soaring, public services are stretched thin. People are arriving, but the cities aren't ready to receive them. So what's really going on? Is this a side effect of skyrocketing London rents? Is remote work reshaping where we choose to live? Or are deeper forces at play, like tech industry expansion, international migration, and a changing job market? In this video, we'll reveal 10 UK cities that are now struggling with rapid population growth and uncover the surprising reasons why. Each city has a different story to tell, and what's happening there might say a lot about your city's future too. Stick with us, because what you're about to discover might just change how you see the UK. Number 10. Luton. Once seen as just another London commuter town, Luton has become one of the UK's fastest-growing urban centres, and it's causing serious strain. Why is everyone suddenly moving here? In a word, affordability. With London rental prices now completely out of reach for many, Luton offers a cheaper, more diverse, and better connected alternative. It's only 30 minutes by train from the capital, making it a prime spot for workers who want proximity without the price tag. But that popularity comes at a cost. The town's population has surged by more than 10% since 2020, putting enormous pressure on housing. Flats that used to sit empty now have waiting lists. Property prices are rising fast, but construction simply isn't keeping up. It's led to a visible shortage of available homes and growing frustration among locals who feel priced out in their own neighbourhoods. Schools are over-enrolled, GP waiting times have ballooned, and the public transport system, once underused, is now buckling under demand. What's more, Luton's famously diverse community, often cited as one of the most multicultural in the UK, is also facing challenges in integrating newcomers at this speed. There's growth, yes, but it's unbalanced growth. So while Luton may look like a success story of smart urban migration, the reality on the ground is more complicated. It's a city trying to stretch a small frame around a fast-expanding population. And if this pace continues, Luton could be a preview of what's to come for dozens of other UK towns. Number 9. Coventry. Once an underrated Midlands city, Coventry has become one of the UK's most unexpectedly in-demand urban areas in 2025. Why? It all starts with infrastructure investment. Coventry has poured millions into transport upgrades, new housing developments, and university expansions over the past 5 years. With HS2 links on the horizon and improved local rail connections, the city suddenly feels a lot more connected, and that's drawing people in. In fact, Coventry's population has grown by over 12% since 2020, largely driven by young professionals, students, and families looking for a cheaper alternative to Birmingham. But here's the problem. The growth is outpacing the planning. New homes are being built, but not fast enough. Many are priced too high for local families, creating a gap between what's available and what's needed. And the rental market? It's overheated. Students from the expanding University of Warwick are taking up more and more private housing, pushing long-term residents out. Public transport is improving, but congestion is rising too. More people means more cars, more delays, and more emissions. And despite all the new buildings, many areas still lack essential services like GPs and affordable childcare. There's also a rising tension between rapid modernisation and Coventry's traditional working-class identity. Locals are proud of the city's heritage, and some feel alienated by the speed and style of change. Coventry's becoming a magnet, but it risks becoming unlivable if development can't catch up with demand. Do you think Coventry's growth is a good thing or a warning sign? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're into real stories behind the headlines, hit that subscribe button. We've got a lot more coming your way. Number 8. Glasgow. Glasgow doesn't shout about its growth, but the signs are everywhere. On Suchi Hall Street, old storefronts are turning into cafes, packed with students and creatives. New flats rise in areas that were once overlooked, and in the city's East End, cranes have become a daily fixture on the skyline. Glasgow's population boom isn't just about numbers. It's about a shift in energy, a pull. People are coming here for what the city has quietly built, a reputation for culture, affordability, and opportunity, without the pressure cooker feel of Edinburgh or London. Between 2020 and 2025, Glasgow's population has increased by nearly 11%, driven largely by students, remote workers, and young families priced out of the south. Universities are swelling with international enrollments. Tech and creative industries are blossoming, fueled by lower operating costs and a talent pool that's growing by the month. But for all the opportunity, there's tension beneath the surface. Housing is tight. Rents are creeping up, especially in neighborhoods near the city center. Locals who've lived here their whole lives are watching familiar streets change fast. And while Glasgow's personality is famously resilient, its infrastructure wasn't built for this kind of momentum. Public transport struggles during peak hours. Healthcare services are feeling the strain, and affordable housing, despite several new builds, remains elusive for many. Glasgow has long worn the label of underdog city, but now, as demand rises and development races to keep up, it faces a new identity crisis. Can it grow without losing what made it special in the first place? The answer isn't clear yet, but the next few years will be crucial. Number 7. Edinburgh. Beauty can be a burden, and Edinburgh knows that better than most. Tourists flood in by the millions, drawn by cobbled streets, castles, and postcard-perfect views. But over the past few years, it's not just short-term visitors arriving, it's long-term settlers too. The city's population has grown by nearly 10% since 2020, and the reasons are as layered as its skyline. Edinburgh is often seen as a dream city. It's clean, walkable, full of history, and ranks consistently high for quality of life. It's home to major universities, a booming financial district, and some of the UK's most influential cultural events. But dreams come at a price. The cost of living here has soared. Rent for a one-bedroom flat in the city centre can now rival parts of London. First-time buyers are being priced out, especially as more properties are snapped up for short-term holiday lets. In fact, entire blocks of flats in Old Town now sit empty for most of the year, waiting for the next tourist season. Public services haven't kept up. Schools are overcrowded, NHS access is patchy, and transport infrastructure, especially in the outer areas, is lagging behind the rest of the city's progress. Edinburgh's growth isn't just about numbers, it's about balance. Right now, that balance feels off. Locals are being edged out, character is giving way to commercialization, and the city's identity is slowly shifting from lived-in capital to polished product. And yet, people keep coming. Maybe it's the view from Arthur's Seat. Or maybe it's hope, that Edinburgh can find a way to grow without losing what makes it magic. Number 6. Birmingham. In the heart of England, Birmingham is expanding fast, and not just outward but upward. With a population that's grown by over 13% since 2020, Birmingham isn't just keeping pace, it's setting it. Once dismissed as an industrial relic, the city is rapidly transforming into a modern economic and cultural hub. The numbers are striking. Billions have been poured into regeneration projects. HS2 promises even faster links to London. The city centre skyline is dotted with cranes. Culmore Row is buzzing with new offices. Digbeth is becoming a creative playground. But these big moves come with equally big challenges. Housing demand has spiked. While luxury apartments and student housing are rising fast, truly affordable homes are scarce. Many residents say the city is being rebuilt for newcomers, not for them. Public transport is another pressure point. The new metro extension is promising, but it's still incomplete. Buses remain overcrowded, and cycling infrastructure, while improving, is inconsistent at best. Culturally, Birmingham remains one of the UK's most diverse cities, and that diversity is part of its draw. But integration can't rely on vibes alone. Schools in certain areas are near full capacity, healthcare services are straining, and job growth isn't evenly distributed, leaving some communities behind as others boom. Locals are proud of Brum's revival, but also wary. Rapid change, they know, often means rising inequality. Birmingham is booming, but unless the city addresses these growing pains head-on, its success story could become a cautionary tale. Number 5. Cambridge, the city of brains, bikes, and now breathtaking population pressure. On paper, it's a dream setup. One of the world's most prestigious universities. A science and tech sector growing faster than it can hire. Idyllic green spaces. A charming, walkable core. It's the blueprint of a perfect British city. But in 2025, Cambridge is learning that even perfect blueprints can crack. The population has swelled by more than 14% in just 5 years, mostly driven by an influx of tech workers, academics, and overseas talent. Silicon Fen, as they now call it, is pulling in startups and multinationals like magnets. But all that success, it comes with a sharp edge. Cambridge is quickly becoming unaffordable for almost everyone who isn't in tech or academia. Nurses, teachers, and shop staff are commuting from miles away. A one-bedroom flat in the city centre can cost more than in some London suburbs, and the city's infrastructure. It's charmingly outdated. Roads aren't designed for this volume of traffic. Cycling is still dominant, but bike congestion is a real thing. The train station is overwhelmed at rush hour, and public services, especially healthcare, are straining under demand. Locals are watching the city evolve in real time, and not everyone loves the direction. What was once a tight-knit, scholarly town is feeling more like a corporate campus. Cambridge's brains brought it growth, but now the city faces a new challenge: how to be smart about that growth. Because if the current pace continues, even the city of Newton and Hawking might find itself grappling with a problem no algorithm can fix: how to stay livable when success spirals out of control. Number 4. Leeds. Leeds is moving, and fast. What was once a quiet powerhouse of the north is now one of the UK's most dynamic urban centres. The population has surged by nearly 15% since 2020, and the city is showing no signs of slowing down. Why the rush? Opportunity. Leeds has become a magnet for ambitious young professionals, graduates, and entrepreneurs. Its finance sector is booming, its tech scene is rising, and its creative industries, from indie gaming to digital media, are carving out serious space in the national conversation. Add to that 3 major universities, an international student crowd, and an increasingly flexible job market, and you've got a city that feels like it's on the edge of something big. But momentum brings friction. Housing is a headache. The city centre is packed with shiny new apartment blocks, but affordability hasn't kept pace. Rent is rising. First-time buyers are struggling. And suburban sprawl is pushing deeper into the green belt. Transport is improving, but still patchy. Bus routes are growing, but road traffic is worse than ever. The long-promised mass transit system, still a talking point more than a reality. Then there's the cultural tension. Leeds prides itself on its northern roots, gritty, grounded, real. But gentrification is creeping in. Local shops are being replaced by chain cafes. Long-time residents feel the soul of the city is shifting under their feet. Leeds is ambitious, hungry, growing. But it's in that delicate phase where too much growth, too fast, could stretch it thin. If it can hold its identity while expanding its influence, Leeds could become the UK's next great urban success story. If not, it may become a case study in how to grow without direction. Number 3. Bristol. Bristol is cool, maybe too cool for its own good. Art everywhere, music in the air, green politics, vegan cafes, harbourside sunsets. It's a city that feels alive with ideas, And that's exactly why so many people want in. Since 2020, Bristol's population has jumped by more than 13%. Remote workers, creatives, young families, they're all trading in big city stress for Bristol's promise of balance. It's got London energy with a West Country twist. But behind the murals and bike lanes, the cracks are starting to show. Housing is the biggest pressure point. Demand is sky high, but supply isn't catching up. Locals talk about bidding wars for rentals, students are crammed into overpriced shared flats, and entire neighborhoods are becoming off-limits to anyone without a tech salary. Then there's the traffic. Bristol was built for horse carts, not a rush-hour flood of cars and delivery vans. Despite its eco-reputation, the air quality has slipped, and public transport, still not good enough for a city growing this fast. There's also a tension under the surface, a feeling that the city's soul is being curated. Independent venues are closing, communities are being priced out, and the rebellious, creative spark that made Bristol what it is, some worry it's being polished into something more marketable, less real. Still, people keep coming. Because even with all its growing pains, Bristol offers a sense of possibility. A place where things feel like they're happening, where the future is being built, even if the foundations are cracking a bit. But if the city wants to keep its edge, it'll need to make sure it doesn't just look good, it has to hold together too. Number 2. Manchester. Manchester isn't growing, it's surging. Since 2020, its population has soared by over 16%, and the city has stepped fully into its role as the North's unofficial capital. Once a gritty industrial hub, Manchester now pulses with glass towers, digital startups, and a relentless sense of forward motion. It's a magnet for talent. Media City is booming. Tech firms are moving in. Music, fashion, sport, it's all here. The universities keep the youth flowing in, and postgrads are sticking around, lured by a city that feels big, ambitious, and still more affordable than London. But let's not sugarcoat it. Manchester is feeling the squeeze. The housing market is under massive strain. The city centre skyline may be filling with high-rises, but many locals are being pushed further and further out. Rents have spiked, first-time buyers are outpaced, and the pace of new developments hasn't solved the underlying mismatch between wages and living costs. Then there's the infrastructure. Trams are solid but crowded. Bus coverage varies wildly by area, roads clog up fast, and schools in popular boroughs are now booking out years in advance. There's also a real tension between vision and reality. Manchester brands itself as modern, inclusive, thriving, but pockets of inequality remain deep. As investment floods in, the risk is that entire communities get left behind. Manchester wants to be a global city, and it's getting close. But to truly earn that title, it needs to grow in a way that lifts everyone, not just the developers and digital elite. The skyline might be rising, but the real question is, can Manchester grow without forgetting what made it iconic in the first place? Number 1. Milton Keynes. Wait, Milton Keynes? Yes, and here's why. In 2025, no UK city is grappling with growth quite like Milton Keynes. With a population increase of over 18% in just 5 years, it's not only the fastest growing, it's arguably the most transformed. What was once dismissed as a sleepy grid town, full of roundabouts and brutalist buildings, has become a blueprint for post-pandemic migration. Young families, remote workers, and London leavers are flooding in. Why? Space, affordability, at least until recently, and a city designed to expand. Milton Keynes sells itself on balance. Green space meets urban living. Commute to London in under an hour, enjoy cheaper housing, and raise a family in an area that still feels manageable. But that promise is wearing thin. Demand has outpaced supply. House prices are climbing faster than anywhere outside London. New estates pop up like clockwork, but with them come clogged roads, school shortages, and overwhelmed GP surgeries. The city's original design, built for a few 100,000, was never meant to support this kind of pressure. What was once spacious now feels cramped. Locals speak of lost identity, as villages are swallowed by suburban sprawl, and yet Milton Keynes keeps pulling people in. Maybe it's the idea of a second chance, A clean slate. A new town, still figuring out what kind of city it wants to be. But if it's going to lead the UK's next urban chapter, it'll need more than roundabouts and retail parks. It'll need vision, resilience, and investment that matches its ambition. Milton Keynes is growing faster than anyone predicted. The question now is, can it grow up without growing apart? And there you have it, 10 UK cities racing against time and growth. But which city shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one. If you enjoyed this, check out our last video for even more untold urban stories. We pour heart and hustle into every upload, so if you want to support us, hit that subscribe button. It's just one click, but it means the world to us.